How is it going, everybody? Hold on. How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having the most wonderful day. Today we're going to be doing a little something different. I'm on my way to get us a little breakfast at one of the local places, and you'll know where I'm at when I get there. But with that said, today's video, traffic on the bypass finally picking up a little bit. Look at that. But anyhow, today's video is going to be a little something different than I normally do, and the reason I keep switching things up on my channel is to keep people interested. You know, you don't want to continuously see the same old thing over and over and over. So today's video is going to be about 10, maybe 11 trends that are in new cars that we as buyers, consumers, get sucked into by the auto manufacturers just so they can sell cars. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. You can form your own opinion about which you prefer, but for right now, let's get on and get the food and get back to the house, and we'll get on it. Got the food, as you can see. Yay, Chick-fil-A, thank you. We're on the way back home. We're gonna take a break and eat, and then we'll get this video rolling. But like I said, I wanted to do something a little different to keep everything spiced up a little bit. Nobody likes to see the same old thing go over and over and over, you know. Sure, I know I'm mostly a car-related channel, Camaro specific, but you know, I have people that's not really into cars that watch my channel, so I try to keep things different. So that's what we're going to do. And the reason I'm doing this particular thing is because, let's face it, when you go to look at cars, or you're sitting in a house looking at cars or whatever on the TV commercials, you always get those neat little infomercials about 3 seconds long that show you something really cool. And I'm going to discuss what some of those things are, why some of those things are, and do we really need those things? Personally, I'm not all about gadgets and stuff like that in new cars. Sure, it's cool, but I buy a car for a driving experience. I want to be part of the car, you know. I want to be able to shift the gears. I want to feel the knobs whenever I turn on the radio or turn the heat up or whatever, you know. So, you might not be that way. I am. But let's get on with the video, and I'll see you in just a second. First up on the list of modern car trends is pop-up infotainment centers. Why is this important? Why is it even a trend, if you will say? Well, everybody knows that the newest gadgets catch your eyes, make you want to buy cars, for lack of better terms. And today's modern cars, especially the higher end ones, seem to think that the self-rising or the pop-ups, infotainment centers coming up out of the dash is cool. Which in a way it is. It's pretty cool. But it actually costs you more to buy, but costs them less to make. Because let's face it, all you gotta do is cut a little slit in the dash and then tuck everything in behind the normal heating and air controls and stuff like that, rather than actually molding the dash and everything for the infotainment center to fit in the dash itself. So with that said, you know, it costs you more, but it looks cool, and it makes you want to buy cars. But that's the first up on the list, is the pop-up infotainment centers. Next up, since we're on infotainment centers, let's keep it on that. Latest greatest trend is put everything in the infotainment center. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a hands-on type of guy. You know, I'm from the old school of where, you know, you buy the car for the car, not for everything it has in it. So I actually want to drive my car rather than fidgeting with everything. You know, I could be driving at night and I have to take my eyes off the dash, which is a safety concern. You know, look on the road and reach over, and I could grab my radio, I could drive my heat controls, anything like that, and I could adjust it without ever taking my eyes off the road. But today's trend is, let's cram everything in the infotainment center. And I guess they're doing it for aesthetics. You know, nice clean dash without all those buttons and controls looks cool. I get it. Being able to touch everything, I get it. but you actually have to go into 4 or 5 different subscreens to get to what you need to, whether you want to adjust the radio, the heat in your seats, the heat coming out of the vents, whatever. I get it. Like I said, it's just a new gadget to make you want to buy a new car. But it's kind of aggravating. Next up on the list is turbos. Yep, you guessed it, turbos. While they are cool and they serve a main attraction and they make cars go really fast, today's modern cars makers and manufacturers want to put the smallest engine they can, because number one, it saves money and it saves weight, and then slap a big old turbo on it to actually get the car moving, because otherwise it wouldn't be able to get out of its own way. I've seen turbos on weed eaters, I've seen turbos on leaf blowers, I've seen turbos on lawnmowers, I've even seen cars with 4 turbos. Yes, 4 turbos, believe that or not. But that's the way of the modern trend. I mean, the modern world. It's a big trend for all car makers now, because like I said, cost and weight reduction. Next up, I hope never really becomes modern features in cars, but some of the upper end cars have it, and that's the it looks cool, it really does. But if you're like me and you got to wear these, yeah, it's not cool at all. But what is it? You know, you have to look, if you want to merge into a lane or you're backing into a spot or out of a spot, whatever, you know, you always glance at your side view mirrors, your rear view mirror and all that stuff. But now what they're wanting to do is take the side view mirrors away and put in side view cameras. And while you think at first that's cool, and it looks cool, you know, you got the little 3.5-inch monitor on each side, it costs a lot to put it in the car, number one. And number two, you know, like I said, if you're like me, you can't see the blame thing. Especially over there, you know, you got to turn, you got to stare, and you got to look, you know. If you're going to do what car manufacturers, and this is a little tip, you've got the digital computerized center gauge cluster in your dash. You know, you pop up everything from where you got low tire pressure and all that, and you got a huge tachometer in the middle. Let's shrink some of that stuff down a little bit and then put the monitors on each side of the tachometer. That way you can be going, you can be steering and not even have to look. Just glance down and see what's on the right, see what's on the left, you know. Because you got the big backup camera, so all you got to do is cut your eyes. Why do you want to make us turn our heads? Next up on the list, and this is prevalent in Audis right now and some Ford F-150s and the EcoBoost cars, and that's fake engine noises. Because let's face it, you know, you've all done it. You've been walking through a parking lot or by a car and you hear somebody talking, so you look like they're talking to you. In actuality, what it is, it's a conversation that the person in the car is having with somebody on their phone, and it's coming through the speakers and you pick it up. So what they're doing is they're making these cars more quiet. They're putting thicker weather stripping in it, more insulation in doors, the floors, the roof panels, all that stuff to make them quiet. So you on the outside don't hear what's on the inside, and what's on the outside, they don't hear what's on the inside. So, you know, I understand it, you know, let's make them quiet. But in the same token, you know, if you buy a V8 Mustang or you buy a Camaro or a Vet or whatever, you want to hear the car. Unless you're buying a Tesla or an electric car, you know, you want to hear what you're paying for. So what they've started doing is the cars are so quiet on the inside, they're piping the noise in real low and gentle in through the speakers, so you really don't even notice that that's what's going on. But it actually is. You're not hearing what's on the outside from the outside. You're hearing what's on the outside from the inside. It's crazy. Now I get that you can't take the wheel and make it new again. It's round. It's going to be a wheel regardless of how you change it, okay? So, you know, same way with hoods, front ends, rear quarters. There's only so much you can do to make a car look good. But the next trend that is up is fake hood vents and fake vents in general. The Kia Stinger has the big long slotted fake vents. And then some of the Kia Stinger, the Prius, and some other cars, even down where the fog lights would generally go. You know, these cars don't come with fog, but where they would generally go to make the front end look different than last year's model, they're putting fake vents. They're just plastic covers. They do absolutely nothing. I'm of the thought process that if you're going to go through the trouble to put it there, make it real, right? Make the hood vent, if you're going to put it in there, functional so it lets out heat. But I've talked to an engineer at one of the major car manufacturers, and he says that they have certain parameters that they have to work with. They have to work with heating. You know, the engine has to be a certain temperature to work right. The air going through your coils and stuff has to be certain temperatures for your air and your heat to work right inside the car. You know, general flow dynamics and aerodynamics underneath the car and all that stuff. I understand to a certain degree. Do I think it's all true? I don't know. But that's just one of the greatest trends out there right now. And I understand you have to change the car a little bit, but fake hood vents? Make them real. Make them do something. Next up on the latest, greatest trends, and even the brand new car manufacturers are getting on this. Let's take a beautiful car and slap on black wheels. Back in the day when you had black wheels, I mean, that's because you didn't clean them, you know? But now, now everybody is putting on black wheels, from Ford to Chevy to Audi to, you know, just everybody. Mercedes putting on black wheels. And okay, it looks cool 5 feet away. But when you get 20 feet away, you can't distinguish the difference. And then people will go out and spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a set of wheels. Black wheels. You already had black wheels. I understand it's your car and you want to make it yours, but once you're past 5 feet away, it's still black wheels. You can't distinguish between the two. But anyhow, that's one of the newest trends is black wheels. Now I know they've been around for a while because I remember the Star Trek actor getting killed by his Jeep Grand Cherokee with the electric shifter. And you know, you have to pay attention to these things. They're computer controlled electric shifters. So you have to grab them, put them up in park, and hold it for a couple seconds. You have to look at the shifter and see that the light comes on in park or whatever gear you want it to be in, you know, to be in that proper gear. And a lot of car manufacturers going, and it's just something that, you know, old is new again. You know, the old Buicks and Pontiacs used to have the old push button controls for the transmission. Really cool at the time. You know, you sit there, push button around and grab the shifter and pull it down. But it's prone to fail. It's prone to give you headaches. That's just all there is to it. But now even the pickup trucks have them. You know, rather than getting in, putting it in gear over there on the column, you reach up on the dash, grab another dial, which you said you wanted to get rid of to begin with, and turn it. You know, park, reverse, neutral, drive, low, whatever. 4-wheel drive. And it's cool, it looks good, it cleans up the steering wheel, but it adds another button over there, another dial. And me being a mechanic now, you know, when you're a small shop, you know, you disconnect things to work on it, and sometimes you may have to move the car forward or backwards a little bit, or when it's on the lift, you may want to take it out of gear to spin the tires or wheels, to rotate the drive shaft, to get the bolts out of it, whatever. And you need to take it out of gear. Well, with the electric operated shifters, you can't do that. The car has to be switched on, and the brake pedal has to be pressed in order for you to change it. Now, yes, there's bypasses and everything for that, but again, you have to switch it on in there. When you're working on the car and you got the battery disconnected because all these electronic controls, you don't want to short them out. How are you going to turn it on and press the brake? You know, used to you could just reach under the car if you got it jacked up, pop the shifter cable loose, and you put it in any gear you want. But that's one of the latest trends is, and it does look cool. I get it, it looks cool. Electric gear shifters. Now the next one, I understand from the parameters of you want to save the environment, you want to leave a cleaner footprint on the earth, you want to save more money, okay? And what I'm talking about is more and more hybrid cars. If you don't know what a hybrid car is, a hybrid is not a all gas engine and not an all electric engine powered car. You'll have the gas when it needs the power to get it going and everything, and then when you get it up to a certain RPM or a certain speed, the electric engines take over, you know. So, and then like I said earlier, Tesla's all electric, and they have their benefits, but nobody, and I wish they did, makes a pretty all electric or hybrid car. Yes, there's some that you can get by with looking okay, but if you're a man buying those cars, just go ahead and turn in your man card. I'm sorry. Just go ahead and turn it in. Give it to some relative that's coming up, that's fixing to get his license, something. Let him have it, you know. But in all seriousness, one of the greatest trends right now is hybrid cars. Yeah, they're cool. You get tax savings, you get insurance savings, but they do fail. And here's a secret. Come on in. Have you checked the prices of the batteries for these things? Just saying. So whenever you have to work on this thing, what you saved up front, you're paying for on the back end, if not more. And believe me, typically it's more. Okay, last on the list. And I know I've been talking fast, but I'm trying to cut my videos a little shorter and everything, you know, to keep more people around longer, because I know you get bored hearing me yap. So with that said, last on the list, and this is you, the consumer, and you, Mr. Manufacturer's problem. You guys create this. The consumer says what they want, you build it, and it's an ongoing revolving cycle. And what is that? Safety features. Now with my Tahoe and some of the SUVs out there and whatnot, I understand you need the backup cameras. You know, you need the blind spot monitoring. I get it. But, you know, you build the car so low, you got to have curb assist, like in the Corvettes. You know, you don't want to curb your car, so they got a camera on each corner of the Corvette so that you can see where you're going. Okay, you've got lane assist, right? Keep you in your lane because you're over here fidgeting with your infotainment center, going through those 10 controls to turn up the radio volume, or, you know, stuff like that. And like I said, it's a never-ending cycle. They make these cool features to make you want to play with the car and everything, or be in your car longer, or make the time that you in your car more satisfactory and more pleasing. Okay, but in the same time, rather than driving the car and paying attention to what's in front of you, you are now messing with the infotainment center. You're messing with all these cool controls on the steering wheel and not paying attention to driving. So if you start to drift, you got a monitor over here that tells you, whoa, get back over. You know, beep, 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 get back over. Or you're back, I understand this, like I said, my Tahoe. Blind spot king of the world. You cannot see except that it's huge windshield. The rest of it, now with all that said, like I said, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to end this on that note. All these fancy gadgets that you, the consumers, want, the dealerships are listening to you. I mean, the manufacturers are listening to you. They're putting them all in there. But here's something you're not thinking about. These fancy computer-controlled infotainment centers, these computer-controlled digital readouts on your dash and everything, in 4 to 5 years, all that's going to be obsolete. Not because they made new stuff, but simply because there are no updates for the computer software in your vehicle. Has not been done, is not being done, more than likely will not be done because it's called job security, right? Sure, you got Apple CarPlay or whatever in your car. Sure, you can hook your phone up to it and everything, but in a few years it's going to be obsolete. Your new phone will not work with that system. Your Bluetooth player will not work with that system. Everything will have been changed differently. The codes will be different. Everything communicating with everything will be different. So that car's going to be, in 4 to 5 years, is going to be completely obsolete. And you're going to have to buy a new one if you want to keep up with the times. Personally, like I said earlier, I like my 93 Camaro and my 2012 Camaro for different reasons. The 2012 has more power. It's got the heated seats, the heated mirrors, and it looks like the first gen, which is what I really like. The 93 is more of a driver's car. You know, it's rough, it's brutal, it's powerful. Everything is analog. You know, there's no Bluetooth through the radio unless I want to buy a new radio and put in it that's Bluetooth capable. There's no nothing. You got an analog speedometer with an actual needle pointer. Imagine that. I love it for that reason. You know, if I'm feeling good and I want to sit there and I just want to have a good time driving my car, I get in that one. If I want to drive and be sporty but be comfortable and look really good in it and everything, yes, a car can make you look good. Then I'm going to hop in my red SS. If I'm going on vacation or I'm going off with the wife or something, 9 times out of 10, I'll hop in the Tahoe. It's roomy, it's comfortable, rides like it's on a cloud of air. But I'm not telling you not to buy a car. I'm just pointing out some of the trends. So when you go to look for a new car, what to expect, and maybe a few things that you did not think of, like everything being outdated in 4 to 5 years. So with all that gobbledygook said, you guys get out there and enjoy your car. If you're going to look for a new one, by all means, pick the one that you like. You're the one that has to live with. Drop a note in the description below. Tell me what you look for in a car. Tell me what you like in a car. And if you're going looking for a new one, tell me what you're looking for. I'd like to see what you're interested in. I'd like to converse with you guys, you know. It opens great conversations, great dialogue. So until next time, guys, you right here before Christmas, if I don't get to see you again, have a blessed Christmas and a Happy New Year. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.